Hello, everyone. You are very welcome to Crowned with Purpose on Church of Uganda Family TV, where we celebrate families, where we celebrate women. And this week, we have a very special episode where we pause to honor the strength, the resilience, and mark the International Widows' Day. We had a great celebration at the Archbishop's Palace in Namirembe, where many widows all over Uganda were gathered, and we celebrated and listened to so many testimonies. And apart from those many testimonies, with me here, I have a very special, resilient woman of God with a beautiful testimony. And I would like to introduce to you my very own dear sister, Diana Ndora. We are so happy to have you, my dear Diana.
Thank you, Tama. Good morning, everybody. Pleasure being here. My name is Diana Kabanyonza Ndora. I am a widow on this journey, slightly more than 5 years. I am a mother to a number of children, and in there are two of my biological children, Ian and Ivy. I'm happy to be on this show. I am grateful to the Lord for this journey. Widowhood is not a simple journey in your life, but I'm grateful to God because I've been able to stand still and support other women too.
Yeah, hardships bring us into a different life altogether. Please continue to tell us more about what exactly happened in this journey that you got into that you had not planned.
My journey of widowhood is a journey of beauty for ashes. When I lost my husband, Howard, in August 2019, I felt my world had come to an end. I felt I had lost everything that made sense to me as a woman. I felt like I was no longer a lady of purpose. I actually lost the strength to come out of my house and do a number of activities. I lost my interest in interaction. I lost my interest in serving God because I had been a servant of God. And when my husband passed on, he was also a servant of God in ministry. So it was such a moment of worthlessness. Even when you are in God, even as who serve in God, that moment is not a moment that you take for granted. You only need the grace of God, and you only need to recognize that God is present in your life all the time. And for me, when I woke up one day and I said, enough is enough. I know I'm a child of God. I am wonderfully made. I know I can do this. I can stand. Now, in my search for help, for identity, I struggled because I wanted to know who else was actually, how I had never really had a very close relative or somebody going through widowhood in my life. So for my siblings, I was the first widowed sister. It was a challenge to them also. To my friends, it was also a very big challenge. They just did not know even how to support me. People love us. People want to tell us things to comfort us. People want to lift us. But sometimes when the words they say to you, you feel like they are not sufficient enough to carry you on this journey. So in my search for help, in my search for identity, in my search of knowing where can I find people I can talk to, people who can speak to my pain and feel like God is really near me, is when I made up my mind that I actually need to, the best thing I can do is maybe step out, boldly step out, be courageous enough and stand and say, I am widowed. I am sure there are other sisters out there who must be going through what I'm going through. And it so happened that my grief started in 2019, August. And as we moved into the next year, 2020, January, February, and on March 20th, that is when we went into lockdown. Now, when lockdown was declared in our country, Uganda, for me, it was a whole disaster in my house and my children. Imagine in that state of loneliness, of grief, of pain, and suddenly you're having no visitor, you can't step out, nobody is going out, nobody is doing what. I felt so broken. Actually, I grieved more. It was like I was just grieving the loss of my husband afresh. And where does this take me to? Around that time, that's when I felt like, you know what, I need to do something, first of all, in community. I need to give back my love because Howard loved so much. I needed to give back this love to community. And that's when I formed an organization called the Howard Foundation. It's a foundation in memory of my late husband, Howard, and we have a project in Chireku, Geriri. So as I stepped out to support these women, and then as we went into lockdown, I realized that there were also other sisters grieving like me who may have been like in gainful employment, they would have been business women, they may have been active members of the community, but they were no longer interacting with anybody. And that I would like to explain the birth of what we call the Amazing Mama Network. So as I speak to you, I am a founder of the Howard Foundation. We support widows, the rural widow and community, but also we have a network called Amazing Mama. And this Amazing Mama network is a WhatsApp group that's where we majorly meet. We meet once in a while also to support each other in times of need, in times when somebody is sick, in times when somebody's maybe they've lost somebody on their end too, in times when we want to talk to our children. We have a number of other activities that we do together. We host each other in our homes, we share pain, we share joy, we celebrate our children's graduations, we celebrate our achievements, we celebrate housewarming, we celebrate new businesses, we celebrate each other to encourage each other on this journey. Now in Amazing Network, it's a place where we've built a safe place for these women. A place where they tell their stories, they share their journeys, a place where we come together every Monday to Friday. We have prayers online, 8:30 p.m. We pray together for about 30 to 1 hour's time. And then also, we keep encouraging each other to step out boldly and pick another sister's arm, support another one, because there is no way you're going to get healing if you do not give out that love, if you don't bring love to community. We say that the people discriminate widows, but we are here to preach love. We are here to preach love in our families. Tomorrow we are going to have a widowed sisters-in-law. Tomorrow our mothers-in-laws will be widowed. Tomorrow our sisters-in-law will be widowed. Tomorrow our own siblings will be widowed. So the kind of network that we're building is a safe place, a place of love, a place where we welcome every category of widow. We do not discriminate because we are already discriminated already in our societies where we are. So we do not discriminate. For me, it doesn't matter. You have a certificate from church, you have the customary certificate, as long as you are a widow, for us, we bring you on board, work with you, help you to come out of this grief and make you find your purpose in this world. Government, we look forward to working with government so that this woman can get the right support. If we can actually have targeted support for this woman, be it financial support, if we have grants that can be focusing to this woman, this will be right. If we can have policies that actually we look through and can be reviewed to make sure that as they go to the courts of law, we go to courts of law, these women are challenged over and over by their own families, their own in-laws, even their own biological children, but sometimes it is the law. We go by the book and that is what is there, but we need to make sure that some reforms are done and the women are supported rightly. If you feel you're very comfortable where you are, you may have been left with a lot of inheritance, you may be looking very good, you may be earning very well, you may be feeling like you don't have economic challenges, but emotionally we are all going through the same. I just beg every widow out there, please add your voice on this voice that is going around. Let us raise our voice. The voice is not only in Uganda, but the voice is out there also in Africa. We have the African Widows Union, where I do represent Uganda right now. And I look forward to working with the other stakeholders in Uganda so that we can amplify the widows' plight and be able to find the right solutions on time for these widows. Thank you.
Thank you so much for pouring out your heart. We really see how grief enters suddenly in our lives, very uninvited, and causes all that pain, the emotional pain, the mental health. But thank you for bringing that out and for your resilience. Yeah, and so the wonderful and special day that we marked, the International Women's Day, that was on 23rd of June. It happened at the Archbishop's Palace in Namirembe. There were great testimonies of women, resilient women who are widows. They have stood through so many years. And so those great testimonies are coming right away as you listen. Stay tuned and be blessed by these great testimonies.
My name is Vivian Kitio. I have been widowed for the last 37 years. So I think I'm a senior widow, if that could be the right word to say. My husband, as the Archbishop said, he was a doctor, a medical doctor. And he joined the church and he became a full ordained priest. But later on, he was made an archdeacon, and he was the first archdeacon of Mengo Archdeaconry. That is in Namirembe Diocese. So, when we talk about the 37 years, let me tell you, it is as clear as anything. I remember what happened, and no one will ever take that memory away from me. You know, it's like I can see it happening, though it happened long time ago. And it's so good to talk about it as many times as possible because I don't cry now. But I used to do so every time I talked about it. My late husband, Archbishop, had gone to, my late husband had gone to the bank, Sebo Archbishop, and we had had breakfast, and we had enjoyed that breakfast. And we had talked about going to the UK in 3 months' time to come, because we always travel to UK on an annual basis. He was what do you call it now? He was in St. John's Ambulance, and they invited us every year to have that event for the St. John's Ambulance. When we had finished our breakfast, talked about what we are going to buy, we thought we'll buy A, B, C, D up to Z in the UK. We also got the tickets, okay? And he said goodbye. He got in the car. He drove like crazy. And I thought that was so speedy. Why does he have to drive like that? He just sped, and it was like he was running for something. It was like he was running for an appointment. So he went to a bank. If you ever remember a bank called Cooperative Bank, yes. That was near the bus park or something, the car park. He sat in that bank with a teller, trying to open an account. You see what happens in life? He was trying to open a new account in a new bank. And he had a check. And the bank teller was saying, you cannot open an account with a check. You have to have cash. And my husband was like, I don't have the cash, but I would gladly use a check. And the teller said, okay, let me go and talk to the manager, but we're not allowed to accept this. When that young lady went to the manager, the manager told her, oh, you say, what was the name of that person? And the teller was like, he's Reverend Dr. George Kitio. The manager said, oh, no. We know him very well. Let him open with a check. It's okay. So the poor girl comes from the manager to meet with my late husband. He's sitting, but his head is slanted, slapped down like this. And the girl tried to call him Dr. Kitio. Dr. Kitio had gone completely. So you can imagine the shock of that girl. You can imagine the shock of that young girl. And she couldn't believe it. She went round and said, excuse me, sir. The sir was gone. And that's when the bank, to cut a long story short, the bank got into the car and they came to Makindye, where we were in a vicarage. When I saw the car, there were people coming out of it, and I was at home running up and down doing some chores. They said, can you dress? As if I wasn't dressed up. They said, can you dress up? And we go. I said, where are you taking me, you people? Well, some accident happened, sir. Is it an accident? Is it my mother? Because my mother was always sickly. She was a sickly woman. I thought maybe she's gone, and they were so scared of me. I told them, no, you tell me. If it's my mom, just let me know. Because I'm a born-again Christian. I can handle this. They said, no. Is it my father? By then, my father was 90-something. They said, no. And then they told me, your husband has collapsed, but he's in Mengo Hospital. I said, only collapse? How do they look like they're so scared if it's just collapsed? So I went in the bedroom. I tried to see if I could get his pajamas. I tried to see if I could get the bed sheets. I collected things, but let me tell you, I left them there. I got into a Busuti and got into the bank, the car that belonged to the bank with these guys. And they were looking through the windows. They were not looking at me. They didn't say anything to me until they drove me to Mengo Hospital. You can imagine from Makindi to Mengo Hospital. When they got me out, when I got out, they disappeared. Hey. And I found the Bishop Kauma, and the number of reference there. I said, what are all these people doing here today? Well, I mean, at Mengo Hospital. What's happened? I never thought George could go like that. So they take me slowly, and they are looking down, and I see a body on the trolley covered from head to foot. And they said, Muchala Chito Chitaro. Chitaro Munagenzi. I said, what do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah, Munagenzi. Alia Uyebasi. Echekango Techimanyani. So I started screaming like a mad woman. Screaming on top of my voice. So I uncovered the feet, and that was the feet of my husband. Yeah. I uncovered the head, and that was the head of my husband. So I screamed the more. And let me tell you, you don't blame people if they react at such sudden, shocking news. They tell me, I didn't know that I hid under one of the beds in the hospital. They pulled me from the bed in one of the wards, but I was screaming under that bed. And they pulled me out, got me in the ambulance with the body to Mulago Hospital for post-mortem. But I was screaming all the way. And we reached Mulago, and then there was somebody I knew, a young person in that hospital, near the mortuary, no, not the mortuary, where they do the post-mortem, the medical school. The young doctor thought there was a mad woman in the car who is screaming. You see how I behaved? This young man told me, I thought there was a mad woman in that car. So they took the body into this medical school, and they said it was cardiac infarction or something like that. He had a heart attack. So that was it. It was hard. But I must say, because Jesus saved me years before my husband died, my brothers and sisters in the Lord who visited me encouraged me so much. Because all they could do was to pray. They prayed and prayed until I was okay. Being in a vicarage wasn't easy, because there was once the person dies, the church will sit to discuss who comes in next. It's not only the church, but I think the government, everybody, every institution. So as they were discussing who comes in next, I didn't know where to go because I was in the vicarage. And Mama Kauma, may God bless her heart. She's from and the late Archbishop. They said, Vivian, there should be a new archdeacon in this place. You need to move out. As you look for a place to go, you come and stay in a guest wing. So I was there. It was the hardest moment, because being in a home and the next day you are homeless. We had a home in the village, but it was occupied. So these tests for widows, this is something that is not only for Vivian Kitio. I'm sure so many widows have gone through this. But one thing I want to testify, God held me, comforted me, gave me wisdom, gave me courage, supported me in every way, using the brethren, those who are saved. And of course, I must admit it was not so easy for me to pray. I could pray halfway and then forget what I was saying. I could drive. I had a permit, but I could drive and get lost, in the next months to come. And I'm like, where am I going? One time I was going to the hot loaf to buy some bread for family, and I was going on the way to Ginger. Then the Spirit is saying, you go back, you're going to hot loaf. So this is something like, I could say so much, but I wanted to cut it short. But what I want to tell you, fellow widows, God, Jesus Christ is on the throne. He cares for us in a wonderful way.
I'm Molo Kidi. I'm here for a short testimony. I'm a Christian before I got married. Okidi got me when I'm ready in the church. I was a church choir. I can sing very well. I like singing really. I got married in 1998. From there, Okidi was already a reverend. He was working at Mutuni. That was his workplace. Then from there, he went again to the school to get a degree in theology. He went to Mukono University. By that day, when his life passed away, we already have 2 children. And one he left when the child was in my home. It happened a serious day. In 2002, December, the 24th, we are approaching Christmas Day. In the evening, I got a message from a relative from Reverend Okidi. He came to me at night and he found me with my children who were sitting outside, expecting that Okidi will come in the evening that day. Then he told me that, Molly, you come inside. We went inside with my children, with these 2 children. Then he said, let us pray. After he prayed, he told me that Okidi passed away. Then I said, who? He said, Okidi. I said, mine. Then he said, yes. I left him there. I went to my room and locked myself. Then he went to my neighbor and said, you come. We have serious incident here. Then he told my neighbor that Okidi passed away. And Molly is inside. She locked herself. People were outside knocking my door. That Molly, you come out. Don't do anything there. Come and see us. We are for you now. I never opened the door until morning. Then I wait. My mom come and call me that Molly, you come outside. I opened the door with my 2 children. We were crying. Even my children, they were also crying. Then people said, you let them cry. Let them cry. All my friends came to me and they said that, Molly, don't cry. See what is in your home. That one also need peace. On that day I was in the wilderness. I don't even have ear to hear. I don't even have eyes to see. I was there alone. Then from there we were renting. They decided that the body will not be in that rent house. They took us to Reverend Asticon Nicholas Odofin. He was the uncle to my husband. Then we stayed there. I seated there alone, looking at people, and with my children. Then there came a wife to the late Bishop Benjamin Ojwang, Margaret Ojwang. I hope she will be here, but she's not seen. Then she came to me and we sat down. She started to give me some good testimony. We sing, we sit together, people were crying outside. And you see, in our culture, when a man died, the blame will be on you. They say that that thing is happening because of Molly. She's the one who made that day to be. Everyone from their village, they say that it is Molly that made Okidi to die. I was there alone with my mother and my father. I sat, even not seeing anything. On that day, there come what I have some good word from God. I started to look around me. I said, no, I've finished all my step to be in God's family. At first, I've been baptized, I've been confirmed, and I got married. I've finished all the sacraments. Where will I go now? On that day also, I make my decision, and my life begin to change. I said to my mom that, don't fear, I'm going to finish that war. They cried. Even my dad started to cry, how can you stay with these two children? I said, I will keep them. So the body of Ukiri was took from the road where he got that accident back to Gulu Hospital. They keep there for 5 days. After Christmas, on the 28th, the body was brought to Kigum at the place of the diocese of Kigum. And he got buried on the 29th of December. We stayed there with those people from their village. And from there, they said that they want to take me home in the village. But during that day, we are in war. There's no way to move a distance from town. So, those of the father of Ukiri, they said that they want their children also to be taken home. Then the bishop of the Kigum said that if times come when there's no war, we shall take Mole home and you see the children. I've started to follow Jesus on that day again. I made my mind that I will never step anywhere. I will never even do anything bad. To those who cry negatively to me, I will show them that I'm the child of God. And I know God before my marriage. What helped me there is also, I started to look some verses in the Bible. First King, I talk about Elijah. God sent Elijah in a certain place there, and God told Elijah that you are going to get a widow there, he will take care of you. So from that day, I said that we are with God together. If God can speak to widow, then where will I be? I will be with my God. So widows are for God, not for what hardly thing here. We are blessed. Thank you.
I hope you have learnt a lot from these great, powerful testimonies from these women. Thank you so much, dear ladies, for letting us join you in this journey of widowhood. It's never easy. Right about now, we are going to a short break, but don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, and when we return, we shall dive deeper into more great testimonies of this journey of widowhood. Thank you. Welcome back from the break, and this is Crowned with Purpose on Church of Uganda Family TV. And we are going to dive into deeper testimonies of this widowhood journey from different resilient and powerful women that you will not desist from listening to. Just keep the watch.
I'm called Ruth Sasi Rumuguta, and my husband was called Ogwang. But I agreed with what the reverends, when they were marrying me at All Saints, that till death do us part. So Ogwang, I left it, and I remained with my name. So I was married in 1995 on my birthday, 9th December 1995. And I worked with my husband till 7th Feb 2001. So I was married for 6 years. I was 35 years when my husband died. He fell sick for 5 days. But his story, they told me after his death that he had a problem with the liver, which I didn't know, that erupted. And in those 3 days, he went on. We were working together, but me, I was at the district. He was working in the Ministry of Gender as an accountant. and I was working in Kampala as a district community development officer. So we worked together. But before marriage, because I started working when I was young, I had hated marriage. And because I was working in probation and community, and every day you would meet women crying because of men. So I said, am I different? I'm educated, I have a job, can't I be there without a husband? But then, because I was saved, I said, will I have a child who is outside wedlock? Then I would gamble with my God how to have a child, because my father was very serious. He wanted a grandchild. I was a beautiful girl, and I think I'm still. And so my father wanted me to have a child who looks like me. And so in that process, I met James Ogwang. He was from Teso. I was from Barara. You can see. And I told him, I'm not going to go through these things. He said, which one? You want to stay with me? You want, if you are not marrying me, let's leave it. I'm waiting for someone whom to take to my father, and I get married. If the marriage doesn't work, so long as I would have got a child, you go away. So he accepted, we married. In the marriage, it was okay. We reached like 4 years, 5 years. They said that is a difficult time. And the difficult time started coming because he was not saved. But I fell down on my knees and I would pray for him. And that time, there was even someone came to me and said, you go to Kisubi, there is a Catholic place where you can get something to pray and your husband will accept the Lord. I even went there. I prayed and he would laugh at me in the morning when I'm kneeling on my bed, when he's there to pray for him. So shortly when he fell sick, he came from work, it was a Friday, and it's Saturday, and he said, I'm not feeling well. I said, what is it? Have you drank so much? He said, no, but I'm not feeling well. Friday he went to the hospital. Before I had come to this, I had worked like a nurse. I wanted to be a nurse. And so I knew how to give injections. He got the medicine and I would give him at home. On Saturday, he failed to come out of the bed. So I called the brother. And when the brother came, he said, you people, me, I'm okay, leave me alone. On Sunday, he told me, you remember, there are those Bibles and what you read. Can you give me one? I said, what is wrong? He said, no, I want to have it. I said, if you are too sick, let me take you to the hospital. He said, I don't have money, so I cannot go to beg to go to the hospital. I said, I have the money, let's go. So I gave him the Bible and he put it like this. He said, God will be through this Bible and I will be fine. I said, thanks to God. He's going to accept the Lord in sickness. So we went in the morning. As we were getting out of home, he sweated as if they have poured water on him, and he had turned yellow. So I said, what is the problem? He said, no, let's go to the hospital. When we reached Mulago, he had a doctor, Dr. Dumba, and Dumba wanted to see him. He said, I want to do short call. Then Dr. Dumba said, let them take you to the heart. He said, I cannot stand. I think he had already died the lower parts. And so they took us to 6th floor. They looked for the nerve, nothing. From midday up to 2, they could not get any nerve. So around 2:30, they got a nerve. They checked, he had no sugar in the body. So they told me, go and buy fene and porridge, they will share, and give him so that he can gain the sugar. As I came, it was coming to around 5. That time, he was on drip. I said, let me give you fene. He changed like this. And when I gave him, He said, sorry, you are going to be a widow when you are young. I said, why are you anticipating things which are not yours? You first take the fene, other things are for God. When he did like this, as if he is chewing and did like this, that was the end. So I said, take the fene. He had gone. And my friend, the person I was a matron, she had come in. She said, Ruth, James has gone. I said, what? What do you mean? He was chewing fene. So the nurses came, they had us arguing. And when they came, they said, Ruth, be strong, your husband has gone. I said, I started shaking. I didn't want to cry. Because they told us in our culture, when you cry, you are not a woman. So I said, now if I cry, people will see me and I will be ashamed. But I started now saying, but James, how do you go like this? I asked him, James, how do you go like this? The children were, one was 2 years, another one was 4 years. I said, where will I put the children? I don't have a job that can care. So they took him away. I said, don't take him away. I want first to see whether he's dead. It seems you are taking him. He has just collapsed. He's coming back. The nurse said, okay, come, Ruth. But he has, is it hepatitis B? So put on the gloves and you touch him. I touched him. I did everything. I cleaned as they were cleaning. I did everything. So after I came out of the hospital, we went home. So when they had at home, like what my sister said, they said, that Munyankore woman has killed our son. How can he, in 3 days, fall sick and die? I said, I called my dad. I said, Dad, but the man fell sick. He said, Ruth Otafayo, I'm coming. He came from Barara and found me. So in that process, a man who is not saved, I started seeing people who are saying I was also a wife, I have a child. And I said, so I shouldn't cry. Because they will see me, I'm crying for someone, others are crying. I woke up, went to the bedroom, put on my suit. I was still breastfed the boy, came and sat in the chair. Then my father said, are you okay? I said, I'm okay. He said, what is wrong? I said, nothing. He said, you are not bothered. I said, there are so many bothered here. So I don't need to be bothered. So my sisters, I'm among the last borns, had come and they said, Ruth, cry because you are going to fall sick. I said, I can't cry for someone who is ashamed. So we went to the village. Now this is another culture. They started their cultures and that was another torture. So when we came back after burying, before we came back, they said, now you have one house in Kampala, go and sell it. We divide it among those who are supposed to share according to the succession law. My father was still there. And so my father said, but you people, are you really parents or you are? Do you know God? They said, what if now my daughter was the one who was dead? Would you sell these things? They said, no, but this one now is our son. He said, I would wish you leave this house for her. If you want money, let's go to Mbarara and I give you the money. So when he said like that, they left it. And that's the house I'm in. So I started another struggle now of children. But I had a Psalms 23, that even if I'm in the shadows of death, you will not leave me. So I said, these are shadows, and I can die anytime also. So he's with me, and I will walk with him. And this time, people were saying, this is a young girl, beautiful. Why can't she will get married, I get suitors now. Then I told them, you may come from a hot plate and you go to the fire. So enough what I've seen in 6 years, I can't add on others. Let me look after my children, and God will support me through. My husband had so many friends. They would come every Saturday, I would cook as if I'm not a DCDO. I would cook. But the time they finished burying, up to today, I've never seen them. I made them a service in memory of him after 1 year. Few came, and I told them, I don't need your money. But I need you around us to give us knowledge, to comfort us, and what. But I think they thought I wanted them to be my boyfriends. But sorry, I had sweared to God not to have another man. So there is that one. So when we reach out to those we know and those we don't know, we comfort them. We come together to pray and deliverance. And on this note, I want to ask the provost to stand and Reverend Barbara. They have stand. They have helped us. We get depressed. Others even get annoyed, but they come and pray for us, deliver us with the bondage that we are in. Others still get their husbands during the night. They have to break this. So we thank you. And we pray you'll continue to support us and support those others. Those who will get married, we thank for them. But you may get from the hot plate and you go to the fire. I'll continue to be, I don't mind whether you call me a widow, it is your problem, but I'm Ruth. And by that, if I can pass a message and someone listens, and someone understands the love of God, other things I don't mind. You may never know that if Ogwango was still around, I may not be giving the testimony that God loves. I could have gone astray, but anything that God does it for a purpose. So if you are a widow and you are left behind, do it fulfill the purpose of the Lord. If the husband remains, it is also a purpose. They do it for fulfilling the purpose of God. Because all of us, we have our only line that God gave us and the days He gave us in this world. I would like to end by saying that akayimba kemuwuliddako, when we sing it, we feel we are together. Dabayo wekiri ekirungi abooluganda okubeera awamu nga tuyinza okwagala okwo Yesu tulinga amafuta amalungi ago mu muwendo mungi agakulukutira mu kire kyaloni.
I greet you all in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, and I bring greetings from both my family and from Diocese of Kigezi, where I come from. I'm here to testify about the goodness of the Lord as a woman who has walked a journey of widowhood. God blessed me, and among the women who were blessed, I was blessed to get a husband, a wonderful husband, a powerful, a visionary husband. I got married to Reverend Amos Tumushabe. I was young, and God blessed us with 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl, Paul, Timothy, and Esther. And we walked the journey of marriage peacefully, joyfully. Our marriage was a gift. It was a gift. And he was working, by the time of his death, he was working as a chaplain at the NTC Kabare. He was pursuing masters at Chambogo University, And one morning, one day, he was going to meet his supervisor. He told me that dear, he used to call me dear. He loved me so, so much. He loved me really. And may Amos continue to rest in peace. One morning, he told me that, dear, I want to go to Chambogo University to meet my supervisor. And I will remain there like a week. So he packed his things, preparing for a journey in the morning. And in the night, he packed everything. We discussed so many things. Then we prayed and we went to sleep. At the mid of the night, I woke up for a short call. Maybe I thought maybe he's sleeping because he's going for a journey. I went in the bathroom, and when I came back, when I reached at the bed, he was not responding. So I called him, dear. For the first time, he never responded. I called him again, dear. He never responded. My firstborn was 7 years old. I called him, Paul, you come, our dad has fallen sick. He was still at least breathing. He came because he was young. You know how married people sleep together tonight. So he was. I had to prepare him, to close him. I was alone. When my child saw him, he ran away. I said, God, now what can I do? I called the principal of that college. I called him, that principal, the chaplain is not feeling well. You help me and bring your car, and we take him to the hospital. When I reached at Chirugarama Hospital, they said you have brought a dead person. He was pronounced dead. And one of the nurses called me. I didn't know that he has gone. And she told me that, Deborah, you come. She put me somewhere, and she held me up in her chest, and she said, cry. Whatever you know that Amos did for you, whatever good you know that Amos did for you, you cry for it. I cried. If there is any woman who cried for the loss of her husband, Deborah cried. I looked around. I said, God, now what can I do? I was a wife of a Kilache. You know how Kilache, we are in people's houses. After the burial, they had to bring another chaplain. I had nowhere to go. And I had to look where to go with my younger children, with some properties. You know how Kilache, my goodness. And when the DSC gave me a program that, Deborah, you look where to go because we want to bring another chaplain for the college. I had to go around looking where I can get a house for renting. I reached somewhere, one of the family, I said, I want a house for renting. He said, what is the job of your husband? I told him I don't have. He died. But no, it's bad luck. At such a women, I can't allow them in my apartment. I said, God, you mean this is how being a widow is? I went back, I knelt before God. I said, God, help me, this journey is. I cried unto him, said, give me where I can put my children and my properties. I got somewhere, it was near that church, one of the churches, and I told the DSC because they told me they will bring a lorry to take my things, like at, maybe they told me to, the lorry will reach at my place at 11. I told that yes, help me. I don't want anybody to see me entering in a lorry. You come at least at 6 a.m. I go when everyone was still in the bed. Because we used to go in that lorry when he was transferred, going somewhere in the church to work. And now I'm going in the lorry, going nowhere. It was a challenging moment. Whenever I would think of coming out of the church house to anywhere I don't know, it was a challenging moment. And my children, because they were young, the firstborn was in P3, secondborn was in P2, and the lastborn was in nursery. So my firstborn asked me, but Mom, shall we ever have a dad again? Through tears, I said, we shall never have him again. But God is going to be our Father. And he asked me another question, but Mom, will you be able to pay our school fees? I said, I will pay, but through tears, whenever I would hear such a question, I would go in my room and cry. I cried, women. I cried. And from that day, I continue to seek God as a woman with fear, with loneliness. You know what it means? When the women were giving testimonies, that loneliness, my dear women, you are pleasant here. That coldness would make me awake throughout the night. And with those 3 children, I told my heart that God help me, because when I was young, when I was growing up as a younger girl, I said, God help me never to be shame my parents. It was my prayer. And I said, God help me never to be shame people who love me, people around me like the church and whatever. And I said, God, you have given me a cup to drink on, the cup of widowhood. May you stand with me and you show me the purpose why you took my husband. Because whatever God does, there is a reason. So I said, God, if there is a reason why you took my husband, I want you to show it to me in this journey. Because when I was burying him, when I was before the coffin, my heart told me that I will not take care of my children. I will not put a food on their table for lunch, for supper, for beyond 2 weeks. So I told God, if I finish 2 weeks putting food on the table, every day I will give thanks to you. because my husband was the bread. No, he was the one to bring everything at home. When I finished 2 weeks, I told the priest of where I was renting from, I said, I want to give thanks to God. He never understood me. He said, why? I say, I want to give thanks to God. He accepted me, and when I was giving thanks, I wrote something small, 2, 3 things in my Bible on a small note. When I was giving my thanksgiving, I knelt before the priest, and he prayed, and that note was in my Bible. I said, God, I give you my widowhood. This journey is not easy. I give it to you. I don't know what lies ahead. And I committed my children to God, one by name by name. I said, God, I give you Paul. God, I give you Timothy. God, I give you Esther. In this journey of widowhood, when I'm alone, when I'm going to take care of these children without a father, I give them to you. And even I surrendered everything I could not manage on my own. I said, God, I have started a new journey. I need your grace. That was my prayer. And I want to tell you, I have seen the grace of God. My dear widows and widowers, the Lord is real if you kneel down and you call him. And I made this from all my journey. From that journey was not easy. And because I was in a painful experience, I started selling charcoal. A wife of that clergy. I have to say that I have to do whatever it takes to make sure my children get transport to take them to school. My children get food to eat. My children get everything. And even I had to look money for renting. And in all those things, God tells us that he will never leave us. He will bless the work of our hands. So let us do something. And I encourage women who still have that chance of having their husbands, try to respect them. Try to respect them. I say it again, try to respect them. Because they are the heads of families. That God's heart for widows, it is now made visible through his church of Uganda. So we want to thank you, Reverend Babla, the President, Mothers Union, at provincial level. We thank you, and I promise that we shall continue to be advocates for widows and widowers, and let us stand together to encourage one another to do parenting. We seek the wisdom of God, that divine wisdom in parenting. It is a struggle, but God knows that we are alone. We are with him. So he will give us that wisdom to parent according to his will. And with all few words, I want to say thank you. May God bless you so much.
You may have lost a part of the world, but remember, you have not lost your worth. That's one of the quotes that is from an unknown person. But also remember that grief never ends, but it changes. It's a passage, it's not a place to stay. It's the price of love. And this is by Dr. Al Grollman. And then as we come to the close, I want to encourage you that God is closest to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. This is from his very own word in Psalm chapter 34, verse 18. And so as we go into our time of prayer, I would like you to know that you're not just a widow or a widower. You are a woman of destiny. You are a man of destiny. You will still carry promise. Crowned with Purpose, Church of Uganda Family TV. God bless you.